Okay, so let's dive in. April 1st, 1994, April Fool's Day.
Right.
And Christie Brinkley is in a helicopter over Telluride, Colorado. And she describes this feeling like the bottom just drops out, like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's the very start of her new memoir, Uptown Girl, which just came out. It really grabs you immediately.
It absolutely does. And, she's been in the public eye for, what, 50 years?
Over 50 years, yeah. And this is the first time she's telling the whole story herself, starting with something so intense, that crash. It makes you think how that framed everything else for her.
Definitely. It wasn't just, a celebrity memoir. It feels like she's really digging into what shaped her.
Exactly. It's not just about the famous covers of the movies.
Right. We all kind of had this image of Christie Brinkley, the supermodel, the actress, maybe the entrepreneur.
The smile cover girl.
Yeah, all of that. But this deep dive, using her memoir, is about getting beyond those headlines. We want to explore, the real journey, the formative stuff.
So, looking at how she got started, her huge modeling career, the relationships, especially Billy Joel, obviously, how she built her businesses, her activism, and really unpacking that helicopter crash that she starts with.
Okay, so let's go back. The discovery story.
Yeah.
Paris, 1974. It sounds almost like mythical, doesn't it? Outside a phone booth.
It does sound a bit like a movie scene, but what's striking is how fast it happened. She was 20, one chance encounter, and boom, her life just takes this immediate, massive turn.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Suddenly you're on this path to global fame. It wasn't a slow build.
No, not at all. And what does that kind of instant spotlight do to someone so young,
It must be incredibly overwhelming. And she became this symbol, the all-American icon. It was more than just looking good. It was embodying this whole ideal.
And she stayed there. It wasn't just a flash in the pan. Those 3 Sports Illustrated covers in a row?
Yeah.
It's a major.
Huge. Late 70s, early 80s.
Right. But then the CoverGirl contract? 25 years.
25 years. I mean, that's almost unheard of, isn't it?
It really is. It suggests like a genuine connection with people, not just a face. She resonated.
And the sheer scale, photographed on 6 continents, over 30 countries.
500 magazine covers.
Wow. It's just, the longevity is incredible. What do you think was the secret to that? Staying relevant for so long.
Oh, it seems like she knew her brand, but she also wasn't afraid to grow beyond it,
Yeah, because modeling wasn't the end game for her, was it?
Not at all. She moved into acting, illustration, which is interesting, shows the artistic side, TV, photography.
Right, she didn't just rest on her laurels. She used that platform.
Exactly. And then the business side. The Bellissimo wines, the Prosecco, her clothing line, TWRHLL. That shows some real, business savvy.
And you add in the activism, human rights, animal rights, the environment.
Smile Train ambassador, best-selling author. It's a really broad range of interests and commitments.
It really paints a picture of someone deeply engaged, doesn't it? Using her influence.
It suggests there's a real core set of values driving her, I think.
And running alongside all this professional success, of course, is the personal life, which is often very public.
Oh, yeah. 4 marriages, the Billy Joel relationship, obviously huge, appeared in his videos.
Uptown Girl, right.
Exactly. And then the divorce from Peter Cook later on, which was all over the tabloids.
The memoir gets into this, and that prologue ties right back into it. Back to April 94, Telluride.
Yes, because it wasn't just a ski trip. She mentions right at the start that she and Billy Joel had recently split.
Right. And she had this hope, she writes, that maybe this trip, the danger, would make him realize
that he might actually lose me. It's incredibly candid.
It is. And it tells you straight away that personal relationships, the emotional core, are just as important to her story as the career milestones.
Definitely. And she sets that scene so well, the beauty of Telluride, but also this sense of dizziness, both from the altitude and maybe her life situation.
Yeah, excitement mixed with uncertainty. And then she mentions the safety course, the transponder they had to wear.
Little details that build tension, like foreshadowing. And the weather report predicting snow.
You just feel something coming, and then the crash itself, that loud popping sound.
Instant chaos, and her first thought, oh my God, we're crashing. Just pure, raw reaction.
But then, almost immediately, thinking about her parents, how to tell them.
It's that fundamental human thing, isn't it? Thinking of loved ones, it's quite moving.
And then this strange little detail, remembering something Billy Joel used to say about not wanting to know when he'd die, just where, so he could avoid it.
Such a surreal thing to pop into your head at that moment shows the complex history there.
But the thought that seems to really take over is about her daughter, Alexa Ray.
That absolute fierce determination, I have to live for my baby.
It's powerful, that maternal instinct kicking in, even trying to form this like spiritual connection across the distance.
Yeah, she calls it a metaphysical or spiritual connection, trying to reach her. It shows how central that bond was, even in the face of death.
And the description of the impact. The helicopter smashing, spinning,
Thinking of Vic Morrow, that awful onset accident, just flashes of terror.
and then being thrown clear, but caught by the seatbelt, dragged towards a cliff edge. I mean, you read it and just think, how did anyone survive?
It seems completely impossible, which leads into that other really interesting part of the prologue.
The sanctuary of the Chimayo.
Right. This place in New Mexico she'd visited just 2 weeks before, a place known for miracles, for healing Earth.
And she believed in it. She carried a charm with some of that dirt, even scattered some in the helicopter before the flight.
Yeah, whether you call it faith, superstition, hope, it was clearly important to her.
Absolutely. It speaks to her worldview, maybe. Looking for comfort, for meaning.
And then the punchline, almost. The investigators calling their survival a miracle. Finding her Chimayo charm in the wreckage.
It's quite something. It perfectly sets up her final thought in the prologue about the power of believing in magic.
And that seems to be a core theme, doesn't it? Resilience, self-discovery, holding on to that belief in the magic and mystery of life through everything.
Yeah, the book's description mentions exploring the girl she was alongside the woman she has become. That crash feels like a real turning point in that journey.
A life lived at full throttle, as they put it, and the list of experiences backs that up. Supermodel travel, rock star life, movies, Broadway, riding with cowboys.
It's an incredible range, just
Yeah.
packed with experiences.
And, we should probably also mention the financial side. She built considerable wealth.
Right. The reports mention around $80 million by 2008, mostly real estate. Ranked as one of the richest models, it's another layer to her success story.
So putting it all together from these first glimpses, the memoir seems to be about connecting all these dots. The chance encounter, the incredible career, the public relationships, the near-death experience.
How they all forged the person she is today. It seems like a really compelling narrative.
Definitely. It invites you to think about how all these different threads weave together in a life.
So, wrapping up this first look at Christie Brinkley's Uptown Girl, what stands out most, I think, is firstly how unpredictable life is. That chance meeting in Paris changed everything.
Absolutely. And then the sheer resilience. Surviving that crash is just staggering. It really highlights her strength.
And the power of connection, that immediate thought for her daughter, Alexa Ray, in the crash. Love as an anchor.
Right. And finally, that thread of belief in something more, in magic or miracles. Like with the Chimayo story, it seems to be a real guiding principle for her.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it, about your own life? How have those unexpected moments, the chance encounters, maybe shifted your path?
Yeah, have you had those times where things felt almost inexplicable, a bit magical maybe, or moments of facing real difficulty and how that changes your perspective?
It prompts you to reflect on your own roller coaster moments, perhaps, and what you take away from them. Christie Brinkley's story certainly gives you a lot to consider.